Hey guys, another open dragon mouth for you, and just when you thought that 2016 was going to be the worst year you've had, 2017 hits you with a curveball. 2017 has been a very divisive year for a lot of us, and yeah, I do hope that this coming year will be much better. I keep saying this every year, but it seems like there's always something in the way. It seems like it just keeps getting worse. But anyway, let's get to some stuff going on. Now I've talked about awards for furry stuff. I normally talk about the Ursa Major Awards, but there is going to be a new literary award, which will be called the Leo Awards. This was announced by Thurston Howell Publications back on December 11th. This will be administered by the THP's Furry Book Review Program. And this will be the third award for furry literature. Of course, I've already mentioned the Ursa Major Awards, and we also had the Coyote Awards, which was around since 2011. Now, they are still in the formation stage, and they'll be first presented this upcoming year. Let's see. The nominations will be accepted on March 1st. So you got 2 months to determine who you think should deserve an award. There will be 6 categories. They're going to be novels, novellas, anthologies, nonfiction, short stories, and poems. The nominators must be authors of furry books, 2 short stories, or 3 poems, or the editor of an anthology of furry stories during the past 5 years. Now, unlike the other 2 awards, where it's usually by popular vote, the winners will be chosen by a panel of 5 to 10 judges. And the winners must be approved by 2/3 of the judges. So, I kind of like this format because this past year I was critical of one particular award that was given out by the Ursa Major Awards. Seriously, why'd you guys choose the Dogpatch Press? Really? But yeah, I do like this format for people who are actually coming in with without prejudgment, prejudice against any one of them. They come in open-minded. So, and this is where they do have room for discussion between the judges, because you do have to get 2/3 of the judges to actually agree. And considering that there's going to be quite a bit of nominations in these awards, I think this is a good way to approach this. Let's see. Now, there was an update on Midwest Furfest. I mean, it's great that they are now the #1 largest furry convention in the world, bypassing Anthrocon. But there's been a problem as far as people using their credit cards. You see, if you have used one of the ATMs at the Hyatt, we found out that someone's been using a skimmer. What that is that someone put a device inside the ATM where it takes your credit card information when you put it in. So it for now, you're gonna have to try to monitor your credit card activity, see if there's anything unusual. If you do see anything going on, report it to your bank. But at this point, you want to think about getting a new credit card. Try to change up your information a bit. But as far as I know, this is just if you use the ATM at the Hyatt. They did catch on pretty quickly as they had to take down that ATM and fix it. So, but this is not the first time that such a thing has happened. This happened back with Biggest Little FurCon back in 2015, where the Grand Sierra had said that there was a data breach during the time which the con occurred. But again, do be careful when you are using your credit cards. Let's see, what else do we got? One of the administrators, quoting Mungo, he has moderated multiple furry websites and would have been on the administration team for 5 years on January 27th. Had resigned, apparently because of decisions for and reactions to the new policy regarding hate groups. So here's one of the stories that came up. Furaffinity user PokeFound uploaded a $15 commission that they had drawn depicting an MLP Friendship is Magic styled character wearing a swastika armband and SS collar tab, performing a Nazi salute against the background of Nazi Germany swastika flags. Believing this to be a violation of hate group policy, another user reported it. Mungo, who had been an admin specializing in code of conduct violations, believed it to fall under the policy's exception for fictional context and closed the ticket without taking further action. And of course, this angered quite a few people, not surprisingly. Let's see. And they had taken this problem directly to Dragoneer. And more furry users began reporting the image en masse, sometimes calling for quoting Mungo to be removed from her position. Now, ultimately, the submission was removed. And apparently not comfortable with the decision, he posted on a journal and had decided to resign from his position, citing toxic attitudes directed at herself and other Furaffinity administrators both on Furaffinity and social media. So she was not pleased with the decision, from what it sounds like. And in response to this, Dragoneer has stated that the administrative team intends to discuss the policy further and attempt to find a line in which fictional works cross the line as to what is acceptable. And they have not chosen who's going to be replacing Mungo at this time. Okay, so before I get into upcoming events for 2018, I do have a couple of things I want to share from my Christmas. I was down in Florida at the time, and yeah, it's crowded down there. Shouldn't be surprised. But nonetheless, we had a great time. I was staying at the Wilderness Lodge in Disney. It's quite a different experience when you are one of the theme parks on Christmas. And we did get to wear our ugly sweaters during Christmas Eve. But here's a couple of things I got. First off, I got some wands for the PlayStation. So I'll be combining that with the VR, and we'll play a little bit with these. And I got sent this book. And it is called Yes, It's Hot in Here. Adventures in the Weird Woolly World of Sports Mascots. This is a book that was written by A.J. Mass. And so, yeah, pretty much what it is, pretty much a bunch of stuff about the stories of the mascots during their jobs. AJ Mass writes about baseball for ESPN.com's Rumor Central and also contributes to the site's coverage of fantasy sports. And back in 1994, he became the first person to don Mr. Met, the mascot of the New York Mets. This was since the mascot was retired by the Mets in the 1960s. He got to play through the 1997 season. It's weird that he got to wear the suit in 1994, the year where the players went on strike and they could not complete the season. So technically, I would say he actually wore for 3.5 seasons. Okay, so let's get into upcoming events. First off, by the way, today we do have New Year's Furry Ball and Laugh New Year's Eve in Delaware and Illinois, respectively. We have on the 5th through 7th, Japan Meeting of Furries. That one is being held obviously in Japan. Then we have further confusion from the 11th to the 15th in San Jose, California. The 20th, I hope I'm saying this right, Furboliche, which will be held in the Sao Paulo state, Brazil. There is one event that was not listed on here because it's very new. Antler Crossroads East, which will take place on Friday, January 26th, which will happen to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, about only an hour away from me. So you expect me there, and I will be DJing at that particular convention. And then finally, January 31st to February 4th, Furfest, which will be all the way in Moscow, Russia. So not many events for January, but at the same time, we got to have our minds eased of what's happened in 2017. Okay, so that is it for this video and for 2017, and thank goodness. One last thing, I do have my review for the furry documentary, which I bought from Midwest Furfest. I'll have that up a little later. Just need some time to edit it. So other than that, for the last time in 2017, this Dragon's Mouth is now closing.